Hi, my name is Lisa Padilla, and today I will be discussing issues with inclusion in the classroom. So before I begin, I'd like to discuss what exactly is inclusion. It is a classroom setting with general education students and students with learning disabilities integrated within the same classroom. These classrooms are comprised of a general education teacher, also known as a content specialist, a special education teacher, and an instructional aide who will work together to meet the needs of all students. This is the best model for students when it is implemented successfully. Students gain more socialization skills when exposed to peers of all learning abilities. Students benefit from various ways of instruction that teachers present in their lessons, such as small group time, multisensory math techniques, also known as manipulatives. Traditionally, students were pulled out of classrooms to receive various therapy services. An inclusion classroom setting can often invite therapists into the classroom. My son in particular is currently receiving speech therapy, and his therapist is often invited into the classroom to work with him. However, what happens when inclusion is not successfully implemented in the classroom? A study was conducted of 3 public middle schools in New York. 7 middle school teachers volunteered to give their input about their experience as a general education teacher in an inclusion class. Interviews, surveys, and classroom observations were gathered. These were some of the challenges these particular teachers faced in their classes. General education teachers felt they were not adequately trained to meet the needs of diverse learners and did not have the resources to do so. A participant of the name of Jess stated, "I don't have the time or the room. I teach in 4 different rooms. That's the reality of my school day. The ideal world would be having tactile things in the room. I just can't do that. I have 39 minutes and every day I teach something new." This is the reality for many teachers, that their classrooms may not always be equipped to carry out lesson plans to teach the different learning styles of students. Participants mentioned some of their classrooms were not equipped with whiteboards or projectors. This could be beneficial to engage students with a form of technology. Participants revealed that they did not know much about learning disabilities. This could also be tied in with their lack of undergrad/graduate school preparation in their teaching programs. A participant mentioned, "I did not want to say graduate school failed me, but we're not prepared. I don't feel they truly informed me of what inclusion would mean to me as a general education teacher. And I think out of 36 credits that I did in graduate school, more of it should have been on special education than just 1 class." General education teachers do play a big role in the dynamics of inclusion classes, and it is important that their graduate programs require them to observe other general education teachers in an inclusion setting and view videos of effective teaching strategies. During the segment of classroom observations, general education teachers did not have enough interaction with special education students. Teachers were not checking for understanding and were unable to answer all the students' questions. I have witnessed this at my job as an instructional aide at a high school. The general education teacher will teach his lesson at a quick pace without ever checking for understanding. If any of the SPED students have a question after he's done lecturing, he immediately directs them to me. This makes the students feel uncomfortable, as though he is not their teacher or he does not want to give them his full attention. General education teachers did not view SPED students as their own students, especially in terms of grades. They did not feel responsible for these students, and they felt it was the responsibility of the special education teacher. Amy stated, I give them a grade just because they're on my sheet, but their grade is basically calculated by the other teacher. I make them believe I give them their grade." Both special education teachers and general education teachers need to organize their roles in teaching, grading, and lesson planning. One teacher should not feel the burden of taking on the majority of the responsibility. It needs to be an equal partnership between both teachers. So what can be done for both special education teachers and general education teachers in an inclusion classroom? There needs to be more training on how to present content to diverse learning abilities. Bridging the gap in their roles as educators in the classroom. And lastly, being effective communicators and learning how to collaborate with their co-teacher. Thank you for joining me in this TED Talk. Have a good night.